Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Thursday Faith Livestream. We hope you are doing great. And after this, an announcement from our sponsors. Today's broadcast is brought to you by 2025 Giving Statements. They are available from now until February 1st in 10 to 12 p.m. Oh, p.m. 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Okay, got it. So you can get those before or after service out in the South Foyer. What else do we have? That's me. I Serve Luncheon, great way to break the fast. On the 25th, we'll have food and fellowship. We'll be giving stuff away, I'm sure. You never know. So you can scan there to register so we know how much food to order. If you are coming, if you serve, scan that, come so we can tell you thank you and we love you and we appreciate you. City Young Adults. I was waiting for Dallas to yell. City Young Adults service Friday, January 16th at 7 p.m. in the Student Center. You can click on that QR code right there. Super Soul Winning Saturday, this Saturday. It'll normally be the first Saturday of the month. Meet here at 9:45. Then Jose and Rosa will get you all sorted and send you out. This month, it is this Saturday. So this Saturday, 9:45, come to the church, go win souls, be wise, fulfill the Great Commission. Victory Over Grief is looking for a new facilitator. So if you want to help people through hard times of losing a loved one or any other type of grief, then you can contact Miss Kiki right there at that phone number on the screen. I'm sure you can also message her in the Church Center app. Kiki Wise, that's who you're looking for. Is that it? Cool. Well, good morning, everyone. Javi, Emma, watching from class. Miss Dawn, Jeff Zaniga, Barbara, Brother Mike Gilbert, good to see you. Good morning, all of you guys. I really was hoping we could start with a lot more people on, because what I really want to do is just open today. I have something, but I just want to open today about questions on prayer and fasting and answer any questions, whether they be spiritual, whether they be practical, any of that kind of stuff. So, if any of you have questions, you can put them there in the comments. If you're in the live studio audience, then you can just ask them to me straight from your mouth. You okay over there, Jason? You got a question?
Yeah. You know, like people do like 6 to 6.
Uh-huh.
And then they say like want to like kick it off though.
Right.
You can like kind of go into that.
Yeah, I can go into that. I can go into, and I kind of talked about that a little bit last night, and I think it's important to talk about every time we're talking about prayer and fasting, because a lot of people are new to this. A lot of people don't really understand how to do it, why to do it. So that's a great question. Yeah. 6 to 6 comes from Judges chapter 20, verse 26. Hey, Mallory. Mallory, if you have any questions on fasting, prayer and fasting, you can type them in. So, yeah, and I like I said last night, if you're already up before 6, then go ahead and eat. But don't wake up at 5 just to eat. That defeats the point of being on a fast, because you're trying to crucify the flesh. And by waking up early just to eat, you're actually feeding the flesh. So if you don't normally wake up till 7, then don't eat. until the evening. And then once you do eat, don't be eating things like half a cake, a pint of ice cream. Don't eat like 2 meals just to make up for the calories that you would have missed during the day. So, because otherwise you're just being a glutton. And I know that's the tendency. And like, don't eat a bunch of junk. Like, do your best to eat clean, whole foods. Like meat, eggs, vegetables, fruit, things like that. Try not to eat processed foods. Try to eat whole foods. And when you don't I'm not saying eat like a 4-ounce filet. I mean, you can eat a normal meal, but don't gorge yourself. Hey, Brother Tony, good to see you. Any other questions? I know y'all have questions. So we're going to spend all hour on questions and answers of prayer and fasting. So make questions up. And it doesn't have to be one that you specifically have. If you know other people have the question, or if you had the question at one point about prayer and fasting when you didn't understand it, then go ahead and type it in, because other people are wondering the same thing. No, go for it.
When deciding what fast is right for you, is it best to stick to like the biblical fast you listed, or is it what the Lord's like speaking in your heart? You know, because like.
Well, I mean, biblically, there's only two fasts, and that is, 3 fasts: 6 to 6, no food, or no food and no water. So it's literally either like 6 to 6, no food, or nothing at all. Those are really the only biblical fasts. The Daniel fast, we kind of talked about this with the interns. He was 90 when he did the fast. So if you're 90, go ahead and do vegetables only. That's fine. Those are the ones we stick to. I think Daniel did another one where he said no pleasant food, and he was talking about like no meat and no wine would touch his mouth. I mean, depends on the results you want to see too. You know what I mean? I would also challenge people, good morning, Mother. If you have any questions about prayer and fasting, please type them in the comments. Or if you know any questions that other people have asked, go ahead and put them in the comments. My thing is, what is your reasoning for doing it? Are you just doing it because the church tells you to do it? Or are you doing it because you want to see results from it? If you want to see results from it, then challenge yourself. What have you done before? If you've only done 6 to 6 before. If you've never done anything before, do 6 to 6. If you've done 6 to 6 before, then do 24 to 36 to 48 hours here and there. If you've done 3 days before, then do 5 days. If you've done 5 days, do 7. Anything beyond that's kind of a little intense, and you would need like supernatural. Like even Jonathan says, someone asked him the other day, how many days have you done consecutively of water only? He said 10, and I'll never do it again. So you got to do what the Lord tells you to do as far as length and what. But biblically, there's only a few fasts. I mean, like, I jokingly said, I don't know, did I say that on live stream? About when I was in Bible school? Or that was just to y'all, wasn't it? So I was joking with being transparent with the interns the other day. And in Bible school, we, for whatever reason, or maybe I wasn't paying attention, we weren't getting taught on fasting at that point. They full-heartedly teach on it now. And it's not a shot at them. Like I said, it may have been me just not paying attention because I like to eat. But I didn't know any better, and I was fasting, which was a big deal. My mom's on. She can attest to this. I grew up eating, and in fact, Hal made fun of me. He told me I would turn into a potato. I grew up eating, my preference was beef and potatoes, beef and potatoes, beef and potatoes with every meal. Hey, Pastor Joel, good to see you. And so for me, I thought I was doing this big thing. Oh, I'm going to fast. I'm going to fast bread, which included tortillas and chips and everything, and red meat. Okay? But listen to what I would do. I would roll up to Lon John Silver's and get the 3-piece fish and more with extra crumbs and fries. Is that? And rolls. Yeah, I grew up on rolls. So was that really actually a fast? I mean, for me at that point, never having done it and never been taught, I didn't do it out of rebellion. I did it out of ignorance. So at that point, yeah, it may have been something for me. But when you're being taught what fasting is, and when you have you can acknowledge that you have heard teaching on it before, then you're held to a biblical standard. Does that make sense? So that would be my guidance on that. Anyone else? No, who else? We'll say not anyone else. Who? Pastor Joel, any questions on prayer and fasting that you've heard? Throw them in the comments for us. Rosa, you have anything? How do you properly break fast? That's a great question. That is a great question. If you've done 6 to 6, there's usually not much you have to do to break it. A good indication, which is probably not something you want to know, but if you hadn't had a bowel movement in a few days, then you need to break it. But if you're continually having regular bowel movements, then you can just go back to eating normal. If you've done like 3-day, 5-day, then there's different ways to do it. You know, some people say just have fruit the first 2 days. Other people say break it with broth first to line the coating of your stomach, then have like some fermented vegetables like a sauerkraut. Then you can do like a whole milk or a raw kefir, however it's pronounced. Right, with those 2 steps, you're restoring back good bacteria in your stomach to help you before you eat anything. Then after that, some people are saying stick to fruit the first day. Other people say once you do those steps, you can have your feast meal, which would be, you still want to do clean, whole foods, like, and probably try to do low fat, so like some venison, some bison, and some eggs, something like that. So, like I said, the easiest way for anyone to do it would just be do fruit for a day or 2 if you've done a prolonged fast. Allow your stomach to recover. Put some good bacteria in there, like some yogurt, some sauerkraut, stuff like that. Good question. Anyone else? What else y'all got? Questions on prayer and fasting? Type them in the comments. If you're too embarrassed, you can text me. I'll give one. While you're fasting, it's important that you drink high-quality H2O and lots of it, and electrolytes, and possibly a pinch of sea salt in your water, because you're depleting yourself of electrolytes because you're not getting any of the amino acids from food. So you need to replenish those in some capacity. So that's one reason you'll see when I'm fasting, I drink a lot of this, or I drink at home. We call ourselves water snobs, not on accident, but even Eden has become a water snob. She'll be like, I want Saratoga. It's like, okay, Eden, slow down. Just because at home we just got, we didn't. Stacy, my sister's got my parents the same water purifier that we have, which is a 4-process water purifier that takes out all of the chemicals, the microplastics, and all of that. Because the last thing you want to do when you're fasting is go and drink Dasani or Nestle Pure Life that's full of plastic, that's full of aluminum, that's full of fluoride and chlorine and all those things. Because here you are breaking your body down to restore it, and then you're filling it with a bunch of trash. So that's why you see me sometimes drinking that. Plus, it just tastes better, and it's better for you. What other questions y'all got? Becca, Dee Dee, Nina, Jason, Rosa, Charlie? Okay. A general question? Good. That's what I want. What you got? Those of you watching, please type questions in as well.
How does fasting help quiet the flesh so we can hear the spirit?
Great question. How does fasting quiet the flesh? I mean, I would think most of us could agree. Some people it's not this, but you look at food. How many diseases are caused by food-related things? Whether they're overeating, undereating, eating the wrong things, even things like anorexia, those kind of things. I would almost say that and addiction are probably whether it's porn, whether it's alcohol, drugs, nicotine, whatever, are the biggest contributors to breaking the body down. the biggest contributors to feeding the flesh, right? So by not starving, but by pushing away food for a season, for a period of time, you're crucifying one of the hardest areas of the flesh to conquer. And when you do that and you turn off all those, I need receptors. That's probably not a scientific explanation, but you know what I'm saying. And you allow yourself to focus on God. That's why it's also important. Hey, Miss Mary, also very important to accompany the fasting with spiritual stuff. Like the time you would spend watching a TV show, put on some preaching, or pray, or when you would be eating, pray. Those different things. Make sure you're reading your word. All of those different things. When you couple those things together, I was actually reading a book after prayer this morning that talks about fasting and prayer coupled together is like atomic power in the spiritual realm. You gain this power, and it's not like a power over people, but it's a power over your flesh, to where you get more revelation, you get more understanding, you get all this clarity, and that's what's pretty awesome is once you get into the 3 days, the 5 days and stuff, yeah, the first day or two can be difficult because your body's detoxing from sugar and detoxing from all these things. But once you get past that point, you have so much clarity. You have so much there's no brain fog. You know what I'm saying? It's like you turn on a new switch that you're like, wow, where did this come from? And then, like, just to be completely transparent, I've even been working out on some of the fast. I haven't been doing full weights and stuff, but I've been doing some body weights, some bands and stuff. Because you get to one point where you hit that barrier, and then once you get past that barrier, you have energy, you feel good. So the first few days are the hardest. But yeah, crucifying the flesh, by turning off all that noise and killing the flesh, you can easily hear more from the Lord. Does that make sense? Did that answer the question? Felt like I kind of got off track a little bit, but if my kids want to fast, what's some way they can without messing up their growth but still allows them to participate? But I would just have them do like maybe fast one meal a day for now. Like have them do 6 to 6. Have them eat in the morning, eat in the evening. Fast at lunch. That's what I would do. I definitely wouldn't recommend them doing a prolonged fast. Or they could do vegetables only, or no delicacies of any kind. What else y'all got? Yes, ma'am.
So this could anyone, but how does prayer and fasting bring breakthrough?
Great question. Again, I think a lot of it has to do with... Hold on, sorry. How does prayer and fasting bring breakthrough? Great question. Again, a lot of it is crucifying the flesh. Great question. I got over text. A lot of it comes by crucifying the flesh. When you crucify the flesh, it's a lot easier to bring breakthrough. Not only that, you're surrendering yourself to the Lord. You're saying, Lord, none of these things, food, TV, social media, none of these things of life, money, have me, but you have my heart. You are first and foremost in my heart. And by doing that, God's going to work on your behalf because you're showing him, hey, like, none of this stuff has me. You have me. Like, you are first and foremost. I mean, we see that in Matthew 6:33. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these other things will be added to you. Hold on, let me take care of this real quick. Okay, cool. Done. All right. Am I doing something wrong if there are more trials coming up during the fast? Great question. Great question. And y'all already know where I'm going, probably. Right? What was it? Yeah. James chapter 1. Dear brothers and sisters and brothers, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow. That means don't get frustrated in your trials. Let it go ahead and happen. You can only go to the next level. I mean, think about it. If we're praying for a breakthrough and asking to go to the next level, that usually means a test is going to come before us or some kind of thing, situation that's going to come up that allows us to advance to the next level. So don't get frustrated. Don't get weary if trials are coming up. I mean, otherwise you wouldn't need breakthrough if you didn't have trials, right? So don't get frustrated. Completely normal. You're not doing anything wrong. You're doing great. Any other questions? Or who else has questions? Got you. Do you stop taking vitamins and supplements during a fast? Great question, Elder Ken. Great question. And that really depends on how in-depth you want your fast to be, and for what reasons you're doing it and how long you're doing it. So I actually studied this out. Y'all know I'm a supplement person. And the answer most people won't like. Like if you're wanting to do it traditionally as a spiritual fast, then there should be no stimulants and no enhancements. So that means like nothing that takes discomfort away is the other thing that it said. So that would be like caffeine is a stimulant. So that would take out coffee. That would take out most teas. That would take out creatine. That would take out vitamin B, vitamin D3. That would take all those things out. Plus, a lot of those are harsh on an empty stomach anyways. Really, the only things I've seen that you could really take on a fast would be magnesium, glycine at a small dose, ashwagandha at a small dose. And that's really about it. And those are to help sleep and to help keep you calm. But that's it. Anything else, and even those they say at a small dose. So that's really it that I've seen. Great question, though. If you're doing 6 to 6, that can be a lot different. 6 to 6, you can pretty much take everything. So, just depends on what you're doing. What else y'all got? If you're in the studio audience, you have to ask at least 2 questions. Oh, y'all 2 are done. What you got, Nina?
How do you, like, while you're fasting, how do you keep yourself in check to make sure that you're not fasting for performance?
I mean, normally, so the question was, when you're fasting, how do you keep yourself in check and not fasting for performance or the appearance of 6? I mean, meditating on Isaiah 58 every day is a great way. I mean, it takes you 3 minutes to read it, if that. Read it in a different translation every day. ask ChatGPT to give you a breakdown of it and some commentary on it, the historical and cultural significance of it. Isaiah 58 will keep you in check right there. Doing things like I jokingly but seriously said, go pay for other people's meals while you're not eating. Why? Because you're crucifying the flesh, and you don't have to tell them, oh, I'm fasting, so I'm going to pay for your meal. I mean, like, one of my favorite things, there's a guy that does reels that he literally just sneaks up behind people as they're checking out at the grocery and just puts his card there and then walks off. Like, do things like that, because then you're going to keep your flesh in check of, this isn't about me, because Isaiah 58 tells you to help other people on the fast. Feed the hungry. Help the needy. Do those things. I tried to pay for someone's, yesterday I said this in service, I went into Chiloso to get Eden and Mallory something, and I was just waiting for someone to walk up so I could pay for it, but literally no one walked up the whole 10 minutes I was in the restaurant, so I was a little frustrated. But yeah, I mean, that's doing that. Stay in the Word. Normally, you wouldn't tell people you're fasting. Like, I fast all throughout the year at different times, and I don't tell people. But obviously everyone knows, everyone that you go to church with knows right now that you're fasting. So yeah, just don't make it obvious that you're fasting. Be joyous. Don't be grumpy. Don't be hangry. Be joyous. Even if you have to force it, be joyous. The Word tells us to be joyous. What else y'all got? We're halfway through. What other questions for people that are just hopping on, because I see numbers coming and going? If you have any questions on prayer and fasting, we've had a bunch of good ones, but if you just hopped on and you have a question about prayer and fasting, maybe you've never fasted before, maybe this is your first time, please type in the comments your question. And if you don't want everyone to see, you can text me, you can message me. You can message me on Facebook, Instagram, any of that stuff. Let me check everything. Y'all, you two have one more. You have two. Great question. What about people that work physically challenged jobs like construction? Would fasting make this difficult for them? So what year would that have been? 2021, 2020? One of those years? 2021, I believe. We were doing a lot of fasting here at Church in the City for multiple different reasons. And I was still doing half maintenance, half pastoral stuff. And me and a church member, I won't say his name, were tearing out some stuff outside in August. And I was fully fasting. And I had zero issues. He wasn't fasting, and he had to lay down and take naps. So, I mean, that's one side of it. Another side of it is I have a friend in another country that owns a detailing company, and it's summer there, and he's fasting. So he's drinking juice throughout the day a little bit just to keep him going. He said it's been difficult, but he's been able to do it. So, and then also most people that are in construction wake up before 6 anyways, so they could eat before going out. How much bone broth a day is okay in a liquid fast? I have no idea because I hate liquid fast, just to be fully transparent. And that's just a personal thing. That I'm not saying they're not biblical or they're not a right way to fast. I would personally rather do water only. I'll keep the reasons offline. Good morning, Michelle. Good to see you. We're answering questions on prayer and fasting, so if you have any, type them in. Mm-hmm.
of the excess when it comes to fasting. Because for me, I have days where I do really good in a fast, and then I have days where I fail and struggle.
Great question. So if people have issues with binge eating or eating disorders, or like do great for a few days and then struggle on other days, my biggest suggestion would be do 3 days water only. Just hammer it out. Do 3 days water only. If you know you're going to do that, the days leading up to it, don't do any sugar, don't do any caffeine, so your body's not having a detox on it. Do good water. That's another thing, because you're going to flush everything out. But 3 days of water only is going to nip a lot of that in the bud. All right, I got 2 texts. Let me see what they say. My fast has been changing day to day. Some days are water only, and some days are 6-6, just giving into my flesh. Okay. So someone said, my fast has been changing day to day. Some days are water only, and other days are 6-6. Am I just giving into my flesh, or have you experienced something like that in your time of fasting? So, again, great question. And a lot of that depends on what you've done before and what the Lord's telling you to do, right? So if the Lord's telling you to do 3 days here, 3 days here, then do that and don't compromise. And if that's what's happening, then yes, you're giving into your flesh. But if you're just trying, if you set out to do 6-6 and you're trying to do more, then no, you're not compromising. Does that make sense? So I mean, like, there's been times when we've been on different fasts. I'll do 6-6. Times where I'll do full days, 36 hours, 48 hours, 3 days, whatever it is. You got to have set in your mind what you're doing, either by the week, by the day, or by the whole 21 days, or whatever length of fast you're doing. Have it set, predetermined what you're doing, so that you know if you're giving into your flesh or not. If you just go day to day and change it every day, then that's easy on the flesh, because, oh, I'm hungry today. I'll do 6-6 today, or you know what I'm saying? So have it predetermined before the day starts what you're doing. How do you guard against becoming overly self-focused or discouraged by comparing spiritual days, such as feeling less connected because you didn't spend as much time in the Word or the day before, or having one powerful day of fasting followed by a day that doesn't feel the same? Okay, so this goes to a question that when we were talking about last Sunday night with the second years, we were practicing transitions and announcements, and I got up to do the transition to class from worship, and the Holy Spirit just broke out, and we didn't have class. I mean, we literally had a service. And I opened it up for questions, and someone asked, well, okay, I'm feeling really inspired right now, or really motivated right now. How do I keep that going? And what you've got to realize is those are feelings. Same way with comparing yourself, not feeling as one day was as powerful as the next. Those are all feelings. Those are all feelings. And what does the Word say? That we are to be led by the Spirit. Not by what we see, not by what we can touch, not by how we feel. Those are all emotions. So just knowing that I'm doing what the Word said, and if I'm spending time in the Word and doing those things, then that's all that matters. How you feel doesn't matter. Because how many of you have gotten 8 hours of sleep before, but you wake up and feel tired? How many of you have been in a great time of life, but you feel sad and you don't know why? Or how many of you you almost feel guilty because maybe someone in your life passed away, but you don't feel sad? You can't be led by those things and determine, oh man, I didn't do enough today because I don't feel a certain way. Have you ever worked out and not gotten sore? Yeah, but it's still having a benefit. So you can't be led by feelings, and you can't allow the feelings to determine what your next day is going to be like or anything like that. Elaborate? Elaborate in what way? Why I wouldn't do a liquid fast? Do you really want me to say that on live stream? I added a bit of bone broth to help with energy and paired with electrolytes to keep leg cramps away during a demanding season of my life. Would water only be better? So when I say water only, like what I do when I do water only, I start the morning, and this is every morning, whether I'm on a fast or not, I start the morning with electrolytes. all of my water has a little bit of sea salt in it. And there's a couple brands. There's Baja Gold. There's Celtic sea salt in a blue package, and then Redmond's. I like the Redmond's for cooking. I don't like it for mixing in water because it just sits at the bottom. The Celtic and the Baja Gold dissolve into the water, and if you start with just a little bit, that's going to get you the magnesium, the potassium that you need so you're not getting leg cramps. Also, you can take magnesium glycinate at night to help with that a little bit. Would water only be better? Water paired with electrolytes and salt might be better. I don't know. I personally don't understand the difference of why people want to do liquids only versus water only. The reason I don't like it, I tried it once and had to take off running all throughout the day. We'll just keep it at that. So I never want to do it again. I would rather just do water only. If that answers your question. What other questions do you have? We're starting to pick up. This is always the good part. Like right when it starts getting time to like wind down, people start asking really good questions and it triggers more questions. So what other questions do y'all have about prayer and fasting? And hopefully that made sense, Miss Dawn. If not, message me and I'll go into full detail on a private message. What else y'all got? Okay, good.
Can you learn, or can you learn spiritual discipline while fasting?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. I mean, you can learn spiritual discipline any day of the week. A lot of that comes from the word and crucifying the flesh. That's all that comes from, is meditating on the word, being a doer of the word and not just a hearer or reader only. That's how you learn spiritual discipline, number one. Knowing what the word says, doing what the word says. So absolutely, yeah. And it can intensify spiritual discipline 100%, because you're, like we said earlier, you're crucifying the flesh and just giving your life fully over to God. And that's why it's great to do at the beginning of the year, because you're consecrating the whole year to the Lord, which is massive spiritual discipline. What if I want to fast, but medically speaking, it is not safe to do so? Then you should probably do what the doctors tell you. That's legally, that's all I could say. Struggling to find the balance being diabetic. So if I can skip only one meal and go into prayer, perfect, great. That's finding a way to do it, even if you have medical conditions like that, is a great thing. Like skipping one meal, or I know like having juice or something like that would help. So I still have been praying and I fasted sugar. Great. If that's all you can physically do, I'm not saying mentally, because a lot of times it's a mental thing and not a physical thing. If that's all you can physically do because of medical things, then great. Then more power to you. You're doing great. If there's a difference between that and people just going, "Oh, I can't fast. Why can't you?" I just can't. Okay. You'll have what you say. So, good job, Emma. What else y'all got? I think two of you have one more question you have to ask. So a lot of days when I'm doing water only, like I said, I do the salt waters, I do the electrolytes in the morning, and I'll either do Mountain Valley or Saratoga's. I'll do some sparkling water in there just to change it up a little bit, to make you feel like you're getting something. So for those of you that want to do water only and haven't done water only. I mean, fasting is great for the body. I mean, I was talking about this last night. Fasting is excellent for the body, especially water-only fast. That's the other thing, Miss Dawn. Like, if you want the benefits physically of a fast, then you've got to do water only for a minimum of 3 days. because that's when autophagy sets in, which is where it kills off dead cells, cancer cells, any sickness and disease in your body, and it replenishes it with brand new stem cells and brand new cells, and it like reoxygenates the blood and all kinds of things like that. So if you're having broth, you're killing autophagy. Even like I'll go as far as to even say, Mallory and I were even just looking at some different things, even like mints. Different mints have 15. Once you get over like, I think it's like 11, 12 calories for the day, you kill autophagy. So even some of the mints are 15 calories a piece. That's why, like, last night I said a joke, but I was being serious. I hate chewing gum. First, I haven't chewed gum in 20, 25 years because of aspartame in it. And so we got this xylitol, I'm saying it wrong, but xylitol gum it's basically like brushing your teeth. It's great for your teeth. It remineralizes the teeth and different things. And it's only 5 calories. And especially last night when I knew I was about to pray for people, I didn't want to just go, you might have fasting breath and you don't want to just be breathing on people. So I put that gum in my mouth, but I only kept it in there for a few minutes. But all those little things can, and another reason why a lot of the supplements and even some of the caffeines, they have a little bit of calories and can kill autophagy. So, kind of meals do you have after 6 p.m. on a fast? Are you asking me personally, or me personally? I would have clean. What I mean by that is non-processed. I'm not going to Jack in a Box. I'm not going to Wendy's. I'm going to cook at home. If I can't cook at home, it's literally going to be something like Chipotle or Chiloso that I can go get steak or chicken and vegetables. I'm going to keep it simple. If I'm cooking at home, it's probably going to be steak or chicken. Maybe some patties, some lean beef patties, and vegetables. I don't know what that means, Jason. Yeah, me personally, yeah, it's going to be very simple things. Very simple things. Vegetables, meat. That's about it. That's about it. Another thing, like if you, I'll make this exception for people. I mean, you do what the Lord tells you to do. You do what you're supposed to do. Hey, Michael, good morning. We're doing questions and answers on fasting and prayer. So if you have any, Michael, throw them in there. If you're a sweets person and like your body's so used to sweets that like if you don't have one every few days, you're freaking out. One little square of dark chocolate with sea salt is not going to throw your whole thing off. Like dark chocolate with sea salt is actually pretty good for your body in moderation. In moderation. I'm not saying eat the whole bar. But so like fasting, you're crucifying the flesh. So if you were I remember in our when we first got married, and I blame my mom for this wholeheartedly. Like no regrets on blaming her. Mallory would make brownies, and I could literally eat the whole pan in like a day and a half. Then when I got off brownies, it was chocolate chip cookies, and I could eat like 6 a day, 7 a day. Now, she'll make chocolate chip cookies, and she'll bring me 1 or 2, maybe 3 when they're warm, and I won't even touch the rest of the batch. Like and a lot of that came from fasting. When I first moved back to the U.S. in South Africa, we didn't have sweet tea. Didn't exist. So when I got back, I became like a addict to sweet tea. I mean, literally, probably a gallon a day. I mean, the big Chick-fil-A and Whataburger cups, 2 to 3 of those a day. And so that was one of the first things when I went on a fast when I first came back. I said, even if I'm doing 6 to 6 or if I'm whatever, I'm not doing any sweet tea. And I went back to 0. I have never had sweet tea ever again. So fast can break little addictions like that. And I know, it's sweet tea, Pastor Sean, that's not addiction. Yeah, it can absolutely be an addiction. Soda can be an addiction. Chocolate can be an addiction. Sweets of any kind can be an addiction. Any of that stuff can be an addiction. What other questions y'all got? Now y'all are coming up with some really good ones. I'll come up. I have one. While fasting, is it normal to be freezing all the time? Yes, absolutely. Your hands get tingly and cold. Doesn't matter how many layers you have on. You're like, yeah, you're burning fat. You're burning all your fat stores. And that doesn't happen until day 2 and 3 of water only. If you're doing 6 to 6, you're not doing any of that. You're not burning any of that. So, yeah. I think, what's the outer layer of fat? Jason? No, visceral is like the deep fat. So, is it subcutaneous fat? Subcutaneous? So if you're doing 6 to 6, you burn a little bit of the outer layer. But then as soon as you eat again, you shut it down. But once you start fasting, like that 3-day mark water only, you burn that deep fat. So, what else y'all got? 10 more minutes. Give me a few more questions. Becca, I think you still have one more. You owe us one more. Hypodermis? Epidermis. Hyper? Miss Mary, Miss Dawn, any other questions? Who else asked a bunch of questions? Pastor Joel, Emma, Becca. Did you ask 2 questions, Nina? D-Day, I know you did. Okay, and y'all did. Becca, it's just you. It's just you. Sharon, any comments or questions on fasting? There are no dumb questions unless they're stupid.
What do you do for like headaches if you're doing like no caffeine and stuff on a fast?
Good question. What do you do about headaches if you're doing 0 caffeine? So here would be my thing. How many of you knew, and don't you love it when you get your question answered with a question? How many of you knew ahead of time you were going to be fasting? So again, my thing would be a few days before you fast, start cutting off sugars and caffeine. That way you're not dealing with a lot of that. Because while you're still eating, you can curve a lot of that. The other thing would be pound good water. Pound good water. Drink electrolytes. And there's the other thing is, like, there are electrolytes that are full of junk. Not all of them are great. One of the biggest brands that people love that only has 4 letters is decent, semi-decent, not that great. Then the big one that came out a few years ago that most people drink that has the word liquid in it is terrible for you. There's a good one on Amazon called Dr. I mean, there's a few good ones. I'm not saying, like, there's only one good one. I'm not the know-all, be-all on all this stuff. But there's one called Dr. Price's Electrolyte Mix on Amazon that's really good, and it tastes good too. Dr. Price's Electrolyte Mix. Can you type that in there? Dr. Price's Electrolyte Mix on Amazon. I research if they're clean. I mean, that's the big thing, if they're clean. Because if they're not clean, then you're just filling yourself full of junk while you're trying to purge yourself, basically. Which is, again, why you can't do a lot of other things that can't do. I mean, whatever. So, I mean, yeah. And some of those, not a lot, some of those too, if you're doing a fast, some of those electrolytes have calories in them. That's what I was watching Megalis and Adalis the other day. And they're funny when they're on together. And they were talking about electrolytes. And they were talking about calories. And Megalis, in the middle of the broadcast, realized the electrolyte powder she was using exceeded the number of calories for autophagy. And so she literally gets up in the middle of the broadcast and goes out and yells and, like, is mad. Because, like, some of those things that you wouldn't think have calories, like mints, like gum. Like, who knew gum had calories? Apparently it's got calories. So, but I'm saying, like, who thinks of that thing? So just those little things, depending on the extent of the fast you want to do. If you're doing 6 to 6, then it doesn't matter probably what electrolyte brand you're using. But if you're doing water only or even liquids only, what do I mean by clean? Not dirty ingredients. What do I mean by not dirty ingredients? No chemicals. No chemicals. And that's why even your salt brands matter. So, my heart was right, but it appears I went on a very hard diet. No, I mean, there's nothing. You got to do what the Lord told you to do. I mean, I'm just presenting different things and answering the questions y'all are giving and giving you the best options. That doesn't mean they're the only options. A lot of people do liquid, and it's great for them. Like, that's not a big deal. I'm just saying, me personally, I do not like liquid. I would rather do water only. But there's nothing wrong with doing a liquid fast. So, please, I don't want what I'm saying taken the wrong way. And I'm not condemning anybody or any of these things. Most zero-calorie products are low-calorie companies allowed to round down to 5. Good to know. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I did. Can people almost get like too like strict in terms of like?
Great question. Can people get too strict about their fast? Too strict, I wouldn't say, but legalistic, yes. And what I mean by that is like, I have to do it this way. And that's why I'm saying, like, I'm just telling you, answering the questions y'all are asking, telling you some of the things I do, and even by research. And I'm not saying don't do coffee. I've had tea. I've had warm water with a little bit of lemon in it. You know what I mean? Those things. I'm telling you, when I researched traditionally what would a Jewish or early church, Christian church fast be, they said nothing that stimulates, nothing that takes away discomfort, nothing that, so just to say that, taking an appetite suppressant on a fast, you're taking away the discomfort of being hungry. So something like that. So yeah, but you got to do what the Lord tells you to do and what you've set your heart to do in the beginning. As long as you stick to that, and it's nothing that's contrary to the Bible, you're fine. Like, it's not a big deal, and it's a lot of it is your heart being right towards the Lord. He's not up there going, "Oh, you fasted wrong. No benefits for you." You know what I mean? So, since I'm a coffee drinker, I have drink decaf. AI said it was okay. Yeah. Whatever you feel your conviction is, do it. One of my favorite drinks now that I discovered on this fast, and this is going to sound extremely nasty, so just bear with me. Plain black tea with sea salt in it. It's delicious. For those of you that went to Africa or you have traveled to Australia or England, you know that they have tea constantly, and the milk and sugar isn't great for you. But if you like it, you can do black tea with sea salt. Probably not for everyone, but it worked. Is that it? Any other questions? Any questions from the peanut gallery in here? Is that a hand or are you stretching? Oh, okay. Any other questions online before we say au revoir? I'll check all my messaging platforms before I get off real quick. Sorry, my wife and daughter were saying hi. They just got here. I told them to come in, but I don't think they are. All right, if you don't have any other questions, make sure you jump online at 2 p.m. My wife will be going live today. Oh, here they come. Come say hi. Edie, you want to say hi to people? No? Okay. How was dance today? Was it good? All right. Well, we love you. Have a great day. My wife will see you at 2. Do you want to come say hi to him? No, you'll see him at 2? Oh. Was that y'all running? Sounded like the building was coming down. I thought Godzilla was like on the top or something. All right, we love you. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.